I'm Labrie.
And I'm Justin.
And this is Better Together.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. I'm not sure that you should be the one to introduce the podcast.
Hey, at least we tried.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part of doing the entire podcast is trying to introduce it.
Yeah.
Actually, anything that we do, like the video that I just did.
Yep.
I didn't even do an introduction.
Yep.
Hey, this is the subject.
Yep.
Here's a story that doesn't make any sense. Hopefully I'll tie it together at the end.
Isn't that just life, though?
Yeah, any kind of introduction, any kind of opening statement, I guess, is always the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like breaking, it's icebreakers.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So literally, it just falls into every category.
Yes, every single one. My go-to in just life situations, though, has always been give a compliment. Because that just warms someone up.
That doesn't really work on a podcast. Hello, you beautiful viewers.
Hey, I
Oh,
think
they're not
it'll
even-
work on me.
It's not even working. They're not even viewing us. I already messed it up. See, it's hard.
Hello, you wonderful, wonderful people. How are you today?
Isn't that what like Peter McKinnon does? Not like that exactly, but like, hello, wonderful people of the internet. Or, what's up, guys?
Yeah, he says,
Hey,
what's up, guys?
Somebody says like, hello, wonderful people of the internet or something weird like that.
I have no clue who it is. Someone you must watch without me.
You know, some shows, that actually made me think of like the Duck Call Room podcast, because like some shows name their audience.
Yeah.
So they have what they would call their people. I don't know what you would call the people that listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I have
Lessers. If you think about the whole point of the podcast
Yeah.
is more God, less me.
But then that seems a little wrong, even though that is the whole goal.
Well, Cy said he wanted them to be the Psychotics or something like that. Or no, that was what his band was Uncle Cy and the Psychotics. He wanted them to be the sidekick cool people.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Psychic cool people.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty funny, but
But it's a lot to say.
yeah. And again, it still doesn't help us here.
No, it doesn't help us at all. I was just
No.
saying that other people do it, and that made me think of that one example.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call people that listen to this podcast. Not that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll just decide if anybody ever does want to listen, they'll decide what they want to call themselves.
Yeah. If you listeners have any suggestions for what you'd like to be called, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. Real quick before I forget, there's been a funny that I've been holding on and saving for this moment.
I wasn't ready for this.
Yep. So Alexa's starting to understand Oliver.
Okay.
So one of his favorite things, just like it is for when he's talking to Siri, he likes to ask them to tell him a joke. So last week after our podcast, he was standing in the kitchen and he's like, "Hey, Alexa, tell me a funny." And she did.
She's getting too good.
I have no recollection of what she told him, but she told him a joke. And I was honestly baffled. And like, he's 4. He speaks pretty well overall, but still, that level for Alexa to get you, because even our accents mess her up half the time.
Yeah. Well, especially trying to turn off the lights whenever we leave the house.
Or when it's nighttime and we're tired.
Well, when you're tired, especially.
Hey, don't be hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying that some people get a little southern and want to talk about flowers whenever it gets late at night and they're sleepy. And that someone isn't me.
I don't know. You're the one who just said it.
That is true. But I was saying it as an example of somebody else.
Sure.
So in other interesting, funny news,
Uh-huh.
2 men, 138, 150, or that's not at all what's the two subjects. So there was a 38-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman were doing some construction work in China, and they needed a shortcut. And they needed a shortcut to get around the Great Wall of China. And apparently they used an excavator to smash through the Great Wall of China.
What?
Yeah, in order to create. So now, not only has Genghis Khan been able to successfully get around the Great Wall of China,
Yep.
but also a youngish man and a fairly older woman have now found their own way through. I cannot imagine, like
what would possess you?
to think like, They won't care.
Yeah.
No one's gonna notice.
It's the Great Wall of China. You can't just
You can
like
see this
smash
from
it.
space.
Like,
So why would you think that no one's gonna notice when you just happen to pop a hole through the middle of it? I can't.
like,
I could see
so
you doing it
why
on
did
accident.
they need why did they need a shortcut?
Well, I don't know. They were doing some kind of work, and I guess they were tired of having to drive around. I don't know. It's not like they have gates. I don't guess. It's
I
a
mean,
wall.
I would assume at some point now that there should be a way through.
My practical knowledge of the Great Wall of China ended at you can see it from space. So I don't know. And then there's not enough information in this story, but I thought that it was humorous enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I just have so many more questions.
I mean, I saw Mulan and how it worked out there,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I still think that there were some issues. I could
Couldn't
see
they
like,
just scale it?
well, no, because you're in an excavator. Like, what's funny is I could see how you could do it on accident.
Yeah.
Which getting all the way through it seems difficult, but I guess it's old enough now that it's like
It'll just
it's deteriorated.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the idea that you would do it on purpose, like
Yeah.
obviously we know a certain building
Mhm.
where my mom actually works
Yep.
that has been driven through by multiple cars
Yes.
on accident,
On multiple occasions.
and it's a brand new building.
Brand new building.
But it's been run through multiple times. So I could see how you could be in your excavator. You could mistake the gas pedal for the brake pedal because apparently that happens. And all of a sudden, you are now not in China anymore.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
That is hilarious. Do you have any other funny stuff for me?
No,
No?
not at all. Really, the whole point of this episode is
Mhm.
to talk about how women will always put men to work.
Yep.
Because we had a very interesting weekend for us
Yeah.
in a way that is not normally that interesting of a weekend.
No.
And I made a call that was completely correct, even though you assured me that that wasn't going to be the case.
Listen, that's not my fault though. You're the one who signed up for that. I had us on track, and then you and the guys decided that you were going to create more work.
See, I didn't find out that I created more work until after we had already done all the work. Because when someone who's pregnant and about to have a child,
Yeah, just a couple weeks away.
now this is I guess I gotta clarify some things and be kind of clear.
Yeah.
We went over to a friend's house
Yeah.
to help them. I guess you were having a nesting party
Yeah.
at this friend's house
Mhm.
for this friend.
Yes. They had just moved and
Yeah. And so
needed
we
to get stuff ready.
went over to help them. Well, I knew that when I got over there, I had to move a dresser because I was trying to get the dresser out of my office.
Yep.
And thankfully now my office is an office again and
Yeah.
not a storage room.
Yeah.
Praise God. And it's made life much better, except now we need you to really get on it and finish the butcher block for
Yeah.
the desk. So
Yeah.
that way I can actually have a cup in there.
Yeah.
There's a cup in the windowsill.
Oh,
Yeah.
good thing to remember.
That's a good thing to try to keep in track before the cat spills it.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, I knew I was going to have to move a dresser, and I was happy to move a dresser. And that's the only reason that I really went. And I was told, like, once you get there and you deal with the dresser, like, all you got to do is just hang out with the kids,
Mhm.
and it's going to be no big deal.
Yep.
And that was true for maybe 45 minutes to an hour.
Hey, I did not come and search it for my phone for 2 hours, and then that's when you got to work. After that.
Wow, that was a fast 2 hours.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're sitting there, things happen, and all of a sudden, the pregnant woman, the reason that we're there,
Mm-hmm.
comes up and she's like, "Hey, do you guys think that you could stack these shelves and make a wall?"
Yep.
That's how this was presented to me. Not, do you think one day this could be turned into a wall? Or like, hey, is it possible to do this?
But that's what she meant.
But that's not what she said. And so we go to look at it, and they had bought shelves on Amazon, and they wanted to build a little wall that jutted out just so that way it would be more of an entryway right there. And you
Yeah.
couldn't see, like, because it's where you come into the house, so that way you just couldn't see around this room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go to look at it, and if you've ever worked in a house, then you know that, like, nothing is straight.
Especially in an older home.
Especially in an older home, but even if you went to, like, a brand new house, maybe people don't realize this because they don't end up working on their homes
Yeah.
and stuff, but if you go to Home Depot and you buy a 2x4,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be,
It's not actually a 2x4.
well, yes, but also it's not straight. People think that wood, when you cut it, is going to be straight, but the issue is that wood is wet. And so when it's on the pallet, especially, like, it can be straight if you get something from the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But the longer you wait, it's going to bow, and it's going to have some bend and some twist to it, and that's just normal. And so most houses, I would venture to say all houses that are stick constructed are not completely square because they just can't be.
And then shifting comes into play, also like settling, I should say.
Settling comes into play and it messes everything up.
Yeah.
And so this house, being older and being stick built, was not level in any sense of the word. And we stacked these shelves up and pushed them up against the wall. And for one, the baseboard is there, so we're going to have to cut baseboard out to even get anywhere close to the wall. And still, by the time you would get to the top of the wall, there's like a 4-inch gap between the top shelf and the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not going to look good at all. And they're like, well, you could get some kind of anchor, right? And I'm like, no, it just doesn't work. And I'm like, they had spent, I think they bought 3 shelves and they'd spent $120. And I'm like, guys, you could build a wall, a very simple, they're only coming out 39 inches is all that we decided to build the wall out. And I'm like, guys, you could build this wall for $100. I was $6 off. In the negatives, I guess. I don't know how you think. I was $106 with taxes. It was $100 before tax. I mean, I was on the money.
Yep.
I do have a story about that too. But I was on the money for this wall. And I'm like, that's going to look so much better. And honestly, it's going to be easier because we were going to have to like frame around the shelves or build this weird box around them. And I'm like, this just isn't going to work. But the moral of the story is that anytime that a man is asked to go with women to a thing, somehow you're going to get asked to do something, regardless of what it is. And they're going to tell you that, oh, I didn't mean I wanted you to do it right now. But they kind of did want you to do it right now.
We're very grateful that you did it right then.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not saying that nobody's not grateful, though it took us forever because, of course, like you go to somebody's house and you're not expecting to build anything, so you don't bring anything.
Yeah.
And then they're new homeowners. They just moved from an apartment. And they don't have any tools.
Yep.
Really. I mean, like, he had a toolbox, but it wasn't like, come on.
He had a screwdriver and a couple odds and ends.
And a sander.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, though.
Yeah.
That seemed like, why did you buy the sander? But, so he had some tools, but not what you need to build a wall.
Yeah.
And so we had to drive all the way to somebody else's house and their town doesn't have a Home Depot, so then you got to still go to Home Depot. So it took us hours to get everything. And that's one of my funny stories, and I think I've told you, but we always forget, and this is something that we've faced, is when you go look at like trim and things, that you're paying the price that it says per linear foot. Oh. And so we didn't think about it. And then we did. We realized it before we got up there. But we didn't think about how much it was actually going to be. And so the guy whose wall it was going to be, he was like, I don't really want this because I feel like it's going to be expensive. But the other guy that we were with was like, listen, I'll just buy it. And I don't think he was really thinking about how much it was going to be. Yeah. And we're standing in the front of Home Depot, and he goes to pay for it. And I about fell out on the floor laughing because she rings it up, and it comes out to like $78 for 2 pieces of like 2 corner pieces that you're just going to put up. So like, what you really needed was like 16 foot of this. We bought 24 foot of it because we didn't have it cut down because we're idiots. And we get up there, and so it's $77, and I just bust out laughing. And the guy whose house it is, he's like, what is so funny? And I'm like, did you not see how much that cost? That cost within $25 of the wall.
Yeah.
We just spent as much money to buy the corner pieces as we were going to spend to build. I can't help but try to laugh about it right now.
Yeah.
And we'd already, I mean, like, you put people that are friends together, and you're already cutting up and you're goofing off. And so, like, to me, in that situation, almost everything's funny.
Yeah.
And then you pile on top of it that all of a sudden this guy has to whip out $78 to buy something that made it look really nice.
Yeah.
But was completely unnecessary and was something that the owner of the house was like, I don't even feel like I need this.
Yeah.
So it just shocked me whenever that happened.
I think in the end, it really helped make it look finished. Because otherwise it would have just looked like y'all slapped some paneling up and called it a day.
Yeah, and that's how we were able to do it so cheap is because we used beadboard. But I think it looked nice. I do think though, if you hadn't been able to finish the corners, that you're right, it wouldn't have looked good. That made the whole thing come together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just crazy that that piece can be as expensive. Now we could have saved half that money.
And got it to where you had to paint it.
Yeah, and that was my fault. Because I was like, well, it was before we were thinking in our right minds that it was going to cost us $1 or $2 or whatever
Mm-hmm.
per linear foot. And so there was a $1 something option and a $2 and some change option. And I was like, well, let's just get this one so that way we don't have to paint it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good decision.
You
But I
could've
didn't have
got
to pay
a tiny
for
little
it.
thing of paint, and then it would have been fine.
Yeah, but then they would have whipped out that rusty paintbrush and been like, I think it'll be okay. Did you see that?
Yes.
I'm like, are you really going to use that right now?
Which
Listen.
reminds me, I need to take over a small paintbrush next time I'm there.
It was so late though because we don't do things.
No.
Really, it's hard. It's like rare that we do things with people, especially in the last month that we've been doing ministry work.
Yeah.
Because now that we're doing podcasts and shorts and videos and all this crazy stuff, we just don't have time to do anything. And so like Saturdays are like the day that we get stuff done. So like right now we're recording this podcast in the middle of the week, super late at night, because that's just the only opportunity that we have.
Yeah.
To be together. Now other stuff I can record during the day, but this one I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, we don't do a lot with people.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and that's not because we don't like people. It's just because it's difficult
Yeah.
to have life with people.
Yeah.
And so like,
by we don't do a lot with people. He works, obviously. I'm home, so sometimes I go out and find people during the day.
yeah, but it's still
But
like the point is that like
we don't.
we don't do a lot with people, and you don't do that much when
No.
you really think about it. I do more with people than you do because I go to work.
Yeah.
But we got there at 10
In the morning, yeah.
in the morning, and we left at like 8:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an all-day event
Mm-hmm.
to get this wall built. So like we don't get home till 9. We got to go to church the next morning.
You say it was an all-day event. I think y'all didn't get back from the store until, well, you didn't leave for the store until around,
It was like
No.
2.
it was before 2, because I put Oliver down for a nap while y'all were gone.
I don't remember. I remember looking at my clock or my watch at one point, and it's like I don't even know.
Y'all didn't
But
get back till like 4, though.
I don't know. And then, well, the other problem was that the guy wanted to the guy that ended up buying the trim also bought him an outlet. Like the whole story is just weird, guys.
Yeah.
And he bought like an outside GFCI because their GFCI was broken, but then like everything went wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just took us all day. And so this is not our normal thing to be around people that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then like got to go to church the next day. It was like, this is crazy. So by the time we get to the end of the project, like me and the guy that are actually building the wall, not in our right minds.
Yeah.
We're doing everything wrong. Like as much as you can cut wrong, as much as you can do. And somehow God brought the whole thing together and it looks fine in the end. But truly in the moment, I'm thinking like, I don't know what we're going to do. This wall is not going to look good. And thankfully, like at 8:30, I was like, I got to dip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I got to go.
He
and
was
another
putting up
guy,
the last little bit of
we got the last piece of
beadboard.
panel. Yeah, the last piece of beadboard ready to go and put up. And then I was like, I'm out.
Yep.
But
he
I
had a
was so
camper
wor-
and he was camping out. So
Yeah.
it worked out well for him.
That was a shock.
Yeah.
Like, because we had no forewarning. So we roll up to their house and there's just a camper in the backyard. And I'm like, who in the world could this be? And then it's one of our like other people in this friend group. And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. But that was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
It's a nice camper though.
Oh, I didn't get to go in it. I mean, it looked nice from the outside.
Yeah. Oliver thought it was cool.
Yeah.
There was a Spider-Man pillow in there because I think they stole one of the kids' pillows. And he was pretty into that.
Yeah. He really likes Spider-Man, which is weird.
But he
because
doesn't watch it.
We don't, well, he gets a little at Graham's house. And then if he's over, we go over and see the people we were at their house. If we go over there and Dad's in charge, that might come on the TV. While me and Mom are doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of TV.
Yeah.
I struggle with TV. I want to say that it's your fault, but it's not.
It's not.
But I want to say that it is so I don't feel as bad about myself.
But it's not. I don't even touch the TV
Yeah, because you just watch it on your tablet whenever I'm not home.
during nap time. and before Oliver wakes up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my time.
Yeah, but my issue is like I can't like if you, and I've gotten better about it, but I still like, we have the TV up here right now, and that's because football season just started and we wanted to watch the first football game because it was also on the birthday that we had and all that stuff. And so I was like, well, we'll be able to watch the football game, but then I still haven't taken it back down because I just haven't had time really to think about it. And then, but then it's there. So then when I get home, it's like, well, it's nice to just be able to sit here for a minute and watch something.
And then a minute turns into 2 hours.
It was an hour today.
Today.
And it was an hour yesterday because I had I had podcasts to do. Podcaster life, Labrie. I just wish they paid for life.
That would be wonderful.
Wouldn't it, though?
Oh, that's the dream.
Well, with the trajectory of where we're going right now, and I'm not going to spoil any of that fun stories that are definitely probably going to come out in the future. Like, hopefully, we have a meeting in the future.
Yes.
And I hope that this meeting goes very well and is like, we get to come back and share
some information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be like super exciting and also frightening at the same time. You'll understand that all in the future. Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
We're baiting the hook.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of thing you have to do. Back. So yeah, we have to do something that causes the people to want to come back.
Yep. It might be another episode or two. You'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, because we don't know when the person who we have to meet with is going to be back in the country, that's a weird place to be.
Yeah, right? But they know when they're going to be back. We just don't.
Yeah, that's something you should ask people.
Yeah.
Hey, when you get back, can we have a meeting? And they're like, yeah, sure. But you don't say, hey, when are you going to be back?
When should I expect this?
So hopefully something fun comes out of that.
Yeah.
I don't really know where things are going to go. I don't know where God's taking us. I have some ideas and thoughts, and I'm hoping that things really work out. But it's going to be some exciting times if everything goes the way that it is planning to.
Yep. Y'all pray for us because in all this excitement, there will be, a lot of things to overcome.
Good things don't come without challenge. And so if we're going to have any good things that are going to come out of this, it means it's going to come also with a whole lot of challenge.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I think it's going to be a good time. I don't want to keep alluding to that anymore, though. I really thought the whole idea of, like, women putting men to work was going to be a stronger
a little
thing.
Bit
yeah.
More. Well, I mean, I can't think of many other circumstances as of late, except for at Oliver's birthday. I put you to work chasing around kids and whatnot, but you also put yourself to work in doing that because it helped you be involved with that and not have to deal with all the other people and whatnot. And I got to do that, and that's my forte.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on the kind of thing that you go to. Right. And so, like, for one, at that party, I was like pretty much the only guy.
Yeah.
Because it was our own kid's birthday party, and, Dad's. I kind of feel like I started this trend in our own friend group.
I think you did, honestly.
And it's a bad thing. It's not funny, but, like, I skipped out on a couple little kid birthdays. They were so close together. There were so many, it felt like. And it was like, I don't want to go every weekend to some kid's birthday party. I went to a couple, at least one.
At least one.
At the minimum. I went to one. And I was like, okay, this is fine and all, but, like, I could also do some other stuff with this time. And so I started skipping out. But then all the other dads were still going to these parties. And it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore.
Yeah, I think they've pretty much all taken on your stance for parties. Like, send them off and let me do my thing.
And you know why that is? Because they know that their wives are going to put on the work. Help him.
Probably.
Go over there and help him move that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, go get little Johnny. He's climbing on something he shouldn't be.
It's the little things that you don't realize that you're doing to get us to put to work. You know what happened? There was a chair that we needed moved at church a while back. And it was like, hey, your husband can move that. There's another woman putting me to work, right?
Yep, exactly. She came up and she's like, hey, can you get your husband to move this chair over there? I was like, sure. I'll just sit here and tell him when he comes back. Not a problem.
Yeah, I'm not physically capable of moving a single chair over anywhere, so I'll ask somebody else to do it. I don't really care to do things. But I do think it's funny that given the opportunity, you're always going to ask me to do something.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what you get. Like, it's just a division of labor.
Labor.
Labor?
Labor.
I know. I just couldn't help. I couldn't put it down after I messed it up. But it's just funny. It never fails. You're going to have to do something. You go to mom's house, there's a good chance you're going to get asked to do something.
Yeah.
Right? Well, your dad can't do that. Or you're going to have to help him because I can't help him. That's one of my mom's favorite thing to say is, you're going to have to help your daddy because I can't do it. I can't pick that up. It's like, you look to be in better shape than I am at this point, woman. I don't know what you're talking about.
Her back just went out.
I do 100 sit-ups every day. Well, if you do 100 sit-ups, I'm sure that you can pick this thing up. Maybe you should be doing some other kind of exercise if your back is messed up when you're doing 100 sit-ups a day. I'm just saying.
You made me totally forget what I was going to say because of that.
It's the truth, though.
It is.
I go to your mom's house. Anytime we have a family get-together, I get put to work.
Yep.
Maybe it's me.
Oh, it could be you.
So women put me to work because they know that I'm not going to say no.
And because you're so strong and handsome.
See, and that's what you say in order to get people to do things. I'm not dumb, but I'll take it.
It's true.
Well, that's fine.
It just also helps that you will.
It reminds me of what our son used to do. Right? Like, everybody knows that you've got to butter the bread.
Yep.
Right? And even the kid, I don't even remember how old he was. I mean, it was when he was real little. He'd be like 2 years old. And he'd be like, hey, he'd do it to my mom and my dad all the time, a lot. He would do it to all of us, but he did it to them every time they came to the house. He'd be like, hey, Graham, you going to go play in my room? It's fun in there. That's what he'd say. He'd say, it's fun in there. Like that just knowing that it's fun is going to entice you to go back there and play with him.
Listen, you know where he picked that up from?
You. I think it was you.
No.
My favorite, though, is he's like,
hey, you're so pretty.
Yeah. Now, can I have some milk?
Yeah.
He said, I remember my favorite one was like, Daddy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're strong. I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, sure. It's like, you could pick somebody up and put them up there next to the cookies. I was like, I mean, I could. And then you do because you're like, that was so cunning that, I mean, you got to reward this kind of behavior. I'm not sure if this is sinful or what it is, but it seems like he's got some initiative and he knows how to get things done.
Yep. And again, it comes from you because you're like, hey, babe, you're so pretty. I love you. Can I have some sweet tea?
I don't drink sweet tea. See, factual error.
Back in the day.
Yeah, not since he's been kicking.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I don't know what you're talking about, in fact. I definitely wouldn't use charm in order to get people to do things that I want them to do for me.
Oh, let me just scoot away so I don't get struck by that lightning.
Okay, but you're saying that it's all me when we literally just had the conversation about how you get me to do things, and you said, because you're so strong and handsome.
Listen, I said that that's what other people do to get you to do stuff. I have not said that, though you are strong and handsome.
I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to do with that.
You can't win with me right now.
Apparently not. Well, listen, I've already had my talking time for the day, so I've not got much left to really be able to rebuttal.
One thing I do want to cycle back to from our weekend is I hung so much wallpaper.
Yeah.
I think I'm a professional now.
I didn't know that anybody would still want that amount of wallpaper in their life.
Yeah.
I thought wallpaper, like, I realized it came back, but I didn't realize it was such a thing.
Yeah.
But it's weird because, like, wallpaper really is a thing, I guess. I just don't think about it. But they wanted a ton of wallpaper.
Yeah. And it's for various reasons. Like we've said, it's an older home. So we are hiding some imperfections by just putting up wallpaper. It's a little bit easier than painting.
You put wallpaper over wallpaper.
Yeah. And even though I did paint a wall and then we decided to wallpaper it, but that's because we decided to change out the wallpaper in another room and then we had this other wallpaper. So we put it in a different room.
I have a thing about wallpaper that I want to get to too, now that you've brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
But also, what about how people choose the color of their houses, like the inside? That's what I'm gonna get to in a
Yeah.
second. But on wallpaper, like there's a guy at work, and they're about to have their first child,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying that his wife wants to do wallpaper everywhere, and he's like, I can't stand wallpaper, and he's like, I don't care the colors. I don't care about patterns and things like that. It's like, I just don't want to deal with the wallpaper. And like, if you ever want to change it, and then when you go to peel it off, it rips off. And I'm like, I don't think.
Peel and stick.
Well, yeah, like I think it's like 3M now. So it's like, I
Mhm.
don't think that they have those issues, but he's like hardcore. He's like, this is my line. In fact, I can't remember what it was. He showed me some kind of, it was like if a china cabinet and a bookshelf had a baby. I don't know what you'd really call that, but it was like,
A curio cabinet?
it was kind of like a curio cabinet, but it was wider than what I normally
Hmm.
associate with one of those, because it was like wide like a bookshelf, but it had the doors and glass or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But his wife wanted that, and she wanted it for the baby's room. But it was like at an antique store, and it's like $200 and something. And he's like showing it to me, and he's like, "Would you do this?" And I was like, "Dude, I have a kid." It's like, no, you're having a girl, so that's one thing.
Mhm.
Maybe girls are different than little boys, but like, I don't think I would put anything nice in my kid's room,
Yeah.
especially still not even. Like the
Mhm.
kid ate his bed. Like
He
the
was
crib.
then.
It was still though. I'm just saying, like, they're gonna do weird stuff that
Yeah.
you don't expect,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I wouldn't spend that kind of money. But like that's the struggles of what he's going through right now. But like he's like, yeah, I'm completely against wallpaper, because I told him, I was like, well, we did like murals and stuff in our kid's room, and that's pretty cool in my
Yeah.
opinion. And he's like, yeah, I would understand that, because then you could just paint right back over it. But he's like super hardcore on the wallpaper thing.
No, the wallpaper that I've put up at our friend's house, they got just like the peel and stick that you can order on Amazon, and literally it was super forgiving, because if I'd get down a little ways and it was off just a little bit, I could just peel it up, so easy,
Yeah.
and then relay it. It's super easy
Hmm.
and very forgiving, unless you have really old walls that
Well,
have
yeah.
been patched and stuff, and
What
then
if
you might
just
run into a
have,
couple
like, What if you have
issues.
like cheap walls because you're in new construction, right? Because that's all the stuff is nowadays when
Yeah.
people buy these new houses.
Yeah,
And
but
that's where he's at.
I don't think we would have any problems.
No, but I don't really have a place. Like, I had thought about the wallpaper,
Mhm.
but I don't really think I have a place for it. But like the part of the reason that because like you guys repainted a ton of stuff,
Yeah.
in that house, but I just can't believe like the color that those people chose, the previous owners.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
I know that style and trends change and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but like I feel like the way that we've painted our house so far, since the previous owners, and the way that it wasn't bad. It was like a light gray in most places, and then our like bedroom
Was tan.
was like a tan color, but this was like almost mustardy yellow.
Yeah.
The whole house.
Yeah. Well, so
Well, what I had seen
Yeah.
of the unpainted wall, the unfreshly painted walls.
yes, the walls that you noticed, that was the only area that had that, to my knowledge. The rest of the house was a almost like a minty green,
Yeah.
like just that's the best I can describe it. Is mint
But we've
green.
just we've not been in this house that long. We just got off of the whole spent a year
Yeah.
trying to battle through the worst housing
Yeah.
crisis ever to buy a house, and saw just weird stuff. I mean, people paint their rooms purple,
Mhm.
gr-
Like, not there's good colors in the various,
every color
like
has
there's good shades.
a decent shade that you could paint
Yeah.
it. But that's not even my parents' house.
Yeah.
Like what they painted my brother's room, the weirdest blue ever.
In a very odd finish.
Yeah, it's a bizarre color.
Yeah.
And why, I don't know if maybe people like get the color and they don't know what it's gonna look like, and then they like get a wall painted and they're like, well,
She was like, this is the only thing that's going to cover that wallpaper. Because there was girly wallpaper.
but that's
In
not the
there.
case anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know back like whenever she painted it if that was the case or not, but like I know that you could get away with it now.
Yeah.
But remember, I think it was, I'm trying to remember what color it was, but there's a house up the road from us. It's in the city over, and like everything was blue.
Oh, yeah.
Was that what color it was?
I'm pretty sure.
And it was tacky,
Yeah.
as tacky could be. It was a weird house.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the shower that had like it was a weird house in general, And then you went in the bathroom, and like the shower was weird because the wall was all strange. And then we just thought it was just a weird wall in the shower. And he's like, "Oh no, watch this!" And he turned the water on, and the water came out of the wall.
Yes, I remember that one. It was like they tried to make the bathroom into one of those
Like a
swimming pond, like because it was rock,
Yeah,
and then they had like
it was like a
waterfall.
spa.
Yeah,
Because that water wasn't going to do anything for you. You're just like having water run down the wall beside you while you're taking a shower.
yeah, like that wasn't gonna wash you. Like
I don't know what that was about. People do
that
some
was a
weird
very
stuff.
strange house, though.
Yeah, they had the recording studio.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like we were looking at rich houses. I mean like there was a small room where they had
Like a
some
closet.
instruments, and then they had another box type thing. And like I can't imagine how much it would cost, because it was like a silent chamber where you'd go in there and like could do vocals and things. And I'm like, what in the world did you spend on this?
Yeah.
You know?
And then the weird rustic
Loft.
ladder for the loft up there.
No, it was a bizarre house. I'd have bought it. Still, I mean, it was unique enough to be able to buy it, but it was weird for sure.
It would not have been fun to actually live in.
I don't know. Depends. I think that they had like an older kid, and like if you could trust the kid to keep it clean in that loft thing, and like I never had to go up there, it'd probably be fine.
Yeah, but if you ever had to go up there.
Yeah.
Getting laundry up there.
No, that's not my problem. If you want to have this crazy bedroom thing, then you can do it.
It was a strange space. And then the other room that was downstairs was all like bohemian.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just weird.
Yeah. But like it's funny because so our house is in pretty good shape. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's got flaws because it's from the 80s. But like their house is in not great shape. The house that we were working on this week, like far from great shape. Yeah. But then there's a piece of me that's like a little jealous because it's just so much space.
It's huge.
And I don't know if you heard her. She's like, yeah, this is so much more space than we need. And they have 3 kids. Well, the third one's on the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you should come live in my house for a while.
And
then you're going to be like, no, I need this much space. You know?
See, but coming from their apartment, that's like quadruple the space.
Yeah. And all their kids are young right now.
Yeah.
Do you really think like if you could have 3 kids in our house when they're 17 years old?
It wouldn't be a fun time.
No.
Yeah.
Space would be a lovely thing to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Their house, it needs some love and some adjustments and whatnot, but that's going to be a fantastic size for their family.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if they could actually like the thing is like the being able to afford to fix it or being able to fix it on your own. If they had those abilities, then it could be a super nice house too. But I just don't know if they'll have the ability to do those things.
Yeah. And like because of our church and whatnot, and then their church, we know a lot of people that can help. But the issue is one, getting cost-effective help. Too, because there's some people that they've had help them on certain things that were very generous. And then there's other people that had to charge market rates.
Yeah.
Just because that's their job. Like they have to, make a living. So it's just hard figuring out what you can do, what you can have friends help you with, and what you have to actually pay for.
Yeah. Well, I'll say like I never built a wall, but I was like, I can give it a shot. I mean, it's just some 2x4s and some paneling. It can't be that difficult.
Didn't need insulation or nothing.
No, it's an interior wall.
Yeah.
So it's like doing that was fairly easy. But, I don't know. I think it goes into the greater point though of like, and this isn't against anybody, but like we should be a lot more purposeful as Christians to just be generous in all that we do. Now, obviously, like if you're doing something instead of going to work, like so you're taking it as a job, that's one thing. But like I think we should all be a little bit more willing to just give. I have a short that's going to come out at some point that I recorded today, and it's about that concept of like what we have to understand as Christians is that everything that God has given us is meant to be shared with other people because we were given love by God, and we're told to go forth and love other people. we were given forgiveness from God, and we're told to forgive everyone who sins against us up to so many. It's like
7 times 70.
yeah, a day.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody has enough time to sin against us that much every day.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to give our excess money, our excess food, our excess clothing
Mm-hmm.
when we have those things available. The Bible says that when God comforts us, it's so that we can comfort other people when they have troubles in their life.
Yeah.
We have giftings so that we can edify the body.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think we should be a lot more purposeful inside the family of faith, especially
Mm-hmm.
to be generous
Yeah.
and to give our time and our abilities and our
Mhm.
resources freely and
Yeah.
openly without expecting anything in return,
Mhm.
simply because we love one another and we share the common hope in Christ.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that we should need. And I'm not condemning people who have a business and who are being asked to do things as though it's a business thing. But, like, sometimes we should just look at people and be like, no, dude, it's cool. Like, if you need that done, I can come and help you.
Mhm.
And then you're just writing pay it forward checks.
Yeah.
Right? And so that way, that person has some kind of ability that at some point or another you're going to need.
Mhm.
So if you help them, then that means at some point they're going to turn around and help you.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you charge rates, that you would charge anybody else to do work. But if you're just helping somebody, especially like on a weekend type thing,
Yeah.
I just think, give it to them.
Yeah.
As no, it says it's not the world that we live in, and it sounds weird and it hurts people because we all are driven by money and finances and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, we're supposed to be different
Yep.
as Christians, and I just think that's one of those things.
We're called to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had something else and now I've done forgot. Thanks to your wonderful speech.
I like
You
how
just-
you were like, I want to blame him, but I want him to know that he still said a good thing. So I'm going to say this in a way that does both.
Yeah.
So that way he can't be upset at me.
Exactly.
That was sly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that I still have the wherewithal to not miss things like that.
I know I'm getting pretty tired, so I'm losing track of stuff real easy right now.
That was the thing that I was going to tell you that we weren't supposed to talk about.
Oh.
Was being tired.
Oh, well.
And I thought, well, it's not a big deal. But in other podcasts, we've gotten deep into that where it's like this revolving hole of just like complaining about trying to do the thing at night. And I was like, I don't want to fall into that again.
Okay. So we're not.
No, we're not. I'm just saying that was just something I meant to mention to you, and I forgot.
Okay.
And I thought we were going to go down that hole whenever I mentioned it being late at night, and then we successfully got around it. So
until I keep losing my train of thought.
yeah, I don't think you had a train to begin with. Is the problem.
Shh. I did. I promise. It was just
It would
in
actually,
the shop.
guys. I'm so sorry that I distracted her and that she lost her train of thought because it was going to be the highlight of the podcast.
It really was.
It was going to be absolutely amazing, and now nobody gets to know what it was.
I know. It's so sad. Hopefully Thursday I should be able to do that budget block though. So we'll get back to our projects instead of other people's projects.
Oh, I have a whole list of things, and I still was expecting you to get done. We don't need to get on that on the podcast. But that's what I was thinking the last couple of times that you'd want to help them, which I just said that we should help people.
Yes.
So I can't, and like the things that we need done don't matter.
Yeah.
But I was like, there
I
are some
was like-
things, we could do at our house.
Yes, but their baby's going to show up soon. She's going to have that baby real soon.
I didn't do it to her. Like
I know, but
I'm
she
just
need
playing.
A little help.
No, I understand.
So her projects came first.
Listen, sometimes the flesh gets the best of us, Avery. Doesn't mean it's okay, but it does happen.
Yeah. But don't worry, our projects are still in the queue. They're still in the queue.
They're just waiting.
Yeah. It's taking a little bit of time. But, it is what it is. And also, one of our projects, I still need to go. Well, I have to go buy more sandpaper. Because what I have is not going to suffice.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just not going to suffice. And, like, no matter what.
I was
do need to
wondering
give
about why we were where we were at on that one. So.
Yeah. I need to go get more sandpaper no matter what, because even if I just do a light sand and then restain those boards,
Mm-hmm.
I need to sand it.
Well, we're
And I
talking
need
about
something
things that nobody else is really going to understand right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably going to do it for this episode of the podcast. I just want to put this podcast out so that all men realize and don't forget that wherever they go, when they're going to be around women, they're going to get put to work.
Listen, you have nothing to fear. You will always have a job.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
It may not be paying money, but you might get.
But we even had to feed ourselves. I mean, y'all didn't set us up with nothing.
Listen, we had food at the house. You just.
No,
went
I
and
really
bought
wanted a
food.
burger.
Yeah.
From the moment, I don't remember what it was. That's what's going to end this podcast. This is the subject that ended the podcast. We went and got donuts, and
Yep.
then we got back to the house, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, man, I wonder if there's a good burger place around here. I just really want a burger. Then we ended up getting Cookout, which is a fine burger.
Mhm.
But I was like really wanting to find some like little small town burger place and be like, I'm going to order in some burgers.
They have a good little pizza place around, and then the donuts were good. But I don't know if they have a good
Yeah.
burger place around.
That was the first time that I've been to a Chinese donut shop. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You think, I'll tell you that. So you liked those donuts,
Mhm.
right? Okay, so
I ate one donut. They looked pretty,
they looked nice,
and everyone said they were good.
and you were willing to eat the donut,
Yeah.
and it was a good donut.
Yeah.
And you would potentially eat more donuts from that place.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have a place here in town.
Mhm.
I can't remember the name of it. That's sad. I have no idea what it's called, but it's some donut place.
Yeah.
Down, and you said that it looks sketchy,
Yeah.
and you don't want to go to it. That place looks like the Ritz-Carlton compared to the donut shop that I went to.
Oh.
The outside is, I mean, it's small town America. It was
Mhm.
whatever. You went in there, it was like, oh, this is where we're going to get donuts from. But then you went and look, and like the ladies clean and well
Mhm.
put together. And then like all the donut, everything was clean and well kept, but it was just like the colors were weird. It was old. You wouldn't have wanted to get donuts there if you'd been there.
Well, see, my issue was is I pull up to the donut place and they're talking about breakfast burritos and smoothies, and I'm like, do I really want donuts from a place that's more of a smorgasbord?
See, this is showing your, listen, Solomon wrote in the Bible that you should send your money out on various ships. Or in other words, you should diversify your portfolio so that way, if case one thing doesn't work out financially, something else will. So in case the donuts don't work out, we have breakfast burritos. And if you don't want breakfast burritos, we're going to hook you because we've got smoothies. Okay? These people are saying, listen, we don't care what you want to buy. Come buy it from us. We just want your money. They have diversified their portfolio. They're living out the Bible. The other issue with them, though, is they're never open. Every time I go by, they're like, we're closed for spring break, or we're closed for this, we're closed for that. And I'm like,
Well, the next time I run out on a Saturday morning or something, or next time we run out of sweets at the house, maybe I'll go pick you up some donuts.
all right, well, let's try to end the podcast for the like millionth time.
Yeah.
All right, so we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please help support us by liking, commenting, subscribing, whatever it is you're able to do on the platform that you're on, because the more people who do those things, the more people will be able to see these podcasts, because that is how the algorithms work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just say that you should do that for our content and our podcast, but I say that you should do that for every Christian creator that
Mhm.
you would like to see grow. If you want to see growth in the Christian online community, the best thing you can do is to support Christian content through likes, comments, shares, following people, because doing so shows the algorithm that people care about this content, and that means it's going to be put in more people's faces.
Mhm.
As much as conspiracy theories want to tell you this, that, or the other, the truth of the matter is that all YouTube cares about is AdSense revenue,
Yep.
and they are going to promote content that gets community interaction.
Mhm.
And so if the community is interacting with it, it's going to be put in front of more and more faces, and maybe those faces will be people who need to hear the message of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That is our prayer, and we pray that you would help us and other Christian creators accomplish those goals in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. We pray that you guys have a great rest of your week. We will see you on Monday in the More God, Less Me podcast.
Mhm.
And
More
until
God.
then, God bless.
God bless.